fading. We gotta go. I'll get my car. I brought mine. Yours. I gotta get me one of those.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Batdan's Discussions. And finally, my channel has made it past 300 subscribers and past 30 more for cushion, just in case I lost any subscribers when I did the stream. So right now we are at 335, and I really wanted to celebrate this monumental occasion by reviewing one of Zack Snyder's most famous movies, 300. And who we got on the chat today? We got Integrity, That It Is, Zodwriter, Trevor H. What up, Oracle's Clock Tower? Integrity, Geek Initiative. What up, Beyond the Night? Yes, this is Sparta. And oh, we got the Bat Channel. Funny, given the guests who I'm going to bring on. And before I bring up my guest, I just wanted to kind of just say a quick little spiel right here. Thank you for everyone who supported this channel. This channel has grown so much over the past year. And now I'm past the 300 mark, past the 330 mark that, again, I gave for cushion. And it's just really excited to see how much my channel's grown. And I've started as just a small channel that just would record a video. And I'll be honest, at the time, I wouldn't even watch the video. I would just upload it, whatever it was, it was. And now I do discussions, interviews, watch parties, and now my videos themselves are even edited now. So I've come such a long way, and I'm really just excited to see where this goes. And thank you, the Bat Channel. What up, Lord Koj? Yep. there's a reason why we're reviewing the movie that we're reviewing today on this Zack Snyder-centric channel. Wait, what? How is it not a period piece? Okay. I did not know that. And the guest I'm going to bring on today, I'm really excited to have this person on. He was actually my very first guest on my channel. And I would see, I don't know. I don't know if he's the better part of the Bat channel or not. I go back and forth on that because on one hand, he's right. He's right about about Obi-Wan giving up and that Anakin being in the right and that the Jedi Council being bad. On the other hand, though, he leaves his Christmas decorations up all year. So, wow, you're saying this, really? But personally, I think this guy and I, we're the real world's finest. So please welcome as I bring on Super Bowl as I
Hey,
take off Super Bowl Corey. Okay. Well, I guess this is just gonna be a regular live stream discussion then.
oh man, happy 300 subscribers, Bat Dan. Merry Christmas. It's so good to see you today. How you doing, buddy?
I was doing pretty well until I saw this today, but
Oh
I you know
man,
I'm excited to talk about this great movie that probably is Zack Snyder's most famous movie.
Absolutely, dude. First, congratulations on 300 subscribers, 330 now, past that. You're doing fantastic, man. I can't believe that's right. I can't believe that I was your first guest. And I don't know. This is probably the last time I'm going to be on the show today. You're probably going to be like, yeah, no, Corey's never coming back now after the stunt he just pulled on me, because it was pretty perfect. We were backstage getting ready for the show tonight, and I had a beautiful 300 background. Bat Dan loved it. He commented on it. And I had a feeling he might mention something about my Christmas decorations being up way too late. So I figured, it's time to get nice and cozy around the fire, Bat Dan. We got a beautiful Christmas tree. Is this, do you not like this background?
I liked your other background better.
Oh, you want something like 300 related?
Yeah, I like the one you have backstage. I like that one.
How about this one? This is Christmas! That one work?
No, I liked your other one.
All right. How about we meet in the middle a little bit? This is Sparta!
How many of these did you prepare?
Oh man, I was ready to go tonight. We're rocking and rolling, buddy.
And look, we actually have Zack Snyder himself in the chat today.
Oh man, Zack Snyder's in the chat. What up,
Yeah,
Zack?
so I don't know if I've told you this, but I insist that this guy is actually this is one of Zack Snyder's burner accounts. I think Sin Havoc is actually Zack Snyder.
All right. Sin Havoc is Zack Snyder. Okay, works for me.
So, and thank you, Sean Franklin. Don't encourage him.
Encourage. Let's see the Christmas trees in the chat. Blow it up. Let's get that Christmas trees going. Yeah. What's up, Red Hood Outlaw? What's up, Oracle Clock Tower? My boy Go J. Zod Rider. See? They had it coming. We had a big discussion on the on this, and it was a great discussion. Every time I think about it and I go more and more into the lore, the Jedi are just straight trash, and how they treated Anakin, it's no wonder why he went to the dark side.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I have the good Austin working on a Space-tastic Discussions logo intro for me. So this is my new Star Wars show I'm doing. That Rebel Moon will also be included in that banner too.
Nice.
And for my intro debut, I'm going to have Skywalker on and discuss that very topic. Obi-Wan, was he at fault? Which will include did he give up and other stuff. So
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Me and Trey differ on this quite a bit, man. I'm loving the Christmas trees in the chat right now. You're
Trey
doing a
and
good
I
job. Got
differ
some
on this,
Santas
by
going.
the way.
What's that?
It's Trey and I differ on this.
Oh yeah. Sure, cool. We disagree big time. He's a big Obi-Wan guy. I'm an Anakin guy, and yeah, Trey's wrong. I'm right on this one. The Jedi are trash.
Really, Sodrider? Even you? I expected this from like these other people. Maybe I might have to cancel Chicago Connection. Maybe we just won't do any more Chicago Connection.
Oh man, dang. Getting caught out by the Bat Channel. Every Saturday.
Well, I think you're right.
Attaboy integrity. Attaboy. You know what? If we want to put the Christmas tree back up, I think I had a. Let's see here. Nice little cozy cabin in here.
I really liked your other background. You had a really nice 300 background.
And now people are never going to know about it. This was the 300 background I had, Bat Dad. This one right here.
See, this one. Let's just. This one's great.
It does look good. I don't know if it looks good as this one though. That's freaking hilarious, Bat Dan. This is Santa. Could you imagine him like kicking down some elves down like the North Pole, pit or something like that? What is your profession? Oh. Man.
Yeah.
You did not see it going like this today, did you, Bat Dan?
I kind of did. Maybe not this degree. I thought like maybe you might have like one background. I didn't expect you to have, like
multiple
like
ones. Mm-hmm. A Christmas themed version of 300 would be epic, dude. Absolutely. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I would like. Well, I don't know. Was Jesus born back then?
No.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't remember the exact time. Oh wait, I can look this up. I have. What year does this take place? This takes place. Yeah, he wasn't born yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they couldn't even have Christmas. Jesus wasn't born.
Yeah. 300 a Christmas special. It is a Christmas special. Xerxes has the Grinch. Oh my God, Darth Plato. Oh my God. Woo. Man.
Well, anyway, that was a great show. So, anyway, thanks for stopping by. I guess this stream is canceled today.
Oh man, that's so funny, dude. Oh gosh. Yes, Yeshua, Yahweh. No, it's good stuff, dude. It's pretty crazy that this movie came out. How many years ago? 2006, buddy. It was when it came out.
Woo! Yep. 2006 in the title, even.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think this is my favorite Zack Snyder movie outside of the Man of Steel, Zack Snyder, the Snyderverse, and such like that in the DC world. I think, and I love Rebel Moon, absolutely love Rebel Moon, but I think 300 might top Rebel Moon in my opinion. That's how much I love 300.
It's fine. That's fair. 300. It's a really good movie, and I might admit that it's better. It's technically better than the theatrical version of Rebel Moon. So
yeah, we haven't seen the extended cut, which I'm sure the extended cut may change my mind. Trey told me about this.
Yes. Yes,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm still here. Yep. See, me and Bat Dan are cool. We're tight.
Bat Dan and I are cool.
Oh gosh. Um, yeah, let's see what else. No, Trey told me about that conversation he had with him. He was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, Batman's a pretty big troll. I think he can handle my level of trolliness.
Oh, come on. I would never troll people. I never troll on your show.
Right? Same, buddy. Same. I do like this one a lot. Whoever made this one is fantastic. This is Crush Boss.
Oh, right. Yeah, Zyrider read the novel, which is apparently based on the extended edition. So he
Yes.
even said that he
Yes.
doesn't. I mean, he kind of says he doesn't really like the theatrical, or I'm so used to saying theatrical, the Netflix
The
version as much now
streaming
after
version.
reading. Well, it's kind of like how I feel about BVS. It's like I had no problems with the theatrical version, but after the Ultimate Edition, watching it on Netflix was so painful because I'm like, where's this scene? Where's that scene? And they even change a scene where when Clark's making eggs for himself in the Ultimate Edition, you see that one woman talking about how she had dreams too, but in the theatrical version, it's a news reporting about the bat branding. It's just a quick bat branding thing, like, hey, Batman's branding people. Clark hates that. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if it was almost like it was tough because I wanted to see Rebel Moon, but like I was like in some ways I've gone back and thought like, man, uh do I just want to wait for the extended edition right from the get-go? So it's like I still enjoyed the Rebel Moon. I had to support him. So I still enjoy Rebel Moon a lot. It was my third favorite film of last year. So of the entire year. So like it was a fantastic movie, but I don't know. I just love 300, man. I love that Greek lore. Um, Gerard Butler is just like this is kind of where Gerard Butler started to take off as well as an actor. So it's like, man, this was a dope movie. The action's so intense. It's just an absolute insane movie.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it. I'm This is going to be a really great stream and obviously very fitting 300 subscribers. But before we get into that, I just wanted to kind of make a quick announcement. So for those of you who don't know, we all had a common friend that we lost at the end of summer, Mikey Sutton. It was a tragic loss that hit the entire Still Nation, Mikeyverse, and even Battalion community because he was friends to us all and connected us all. And to be honest, without Mikey Sutton, I don't think I really would have a channel, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was a tough loss, and it's crazy that oh gosh, it was September, August, September, sometime. It's
End of
crazy.
August.
Yeah, right at the end. It's crazy that it's already been this amount of time, and yeah, I saw the news about Geekosity coming back, so that's fantastic news. Or kind of, I don't think they ever really left. It was just kind of on hold while they're trying to regroup and recover. But man, rest in peace, Mikey. What an amazing guy, and yeah, Mikeyverse forever.
Yeah, Mikeyverse forever. And I'm really happy to see that Geekosity's returning because it's important to keep his legacy alive because that's the best way you honor people is that he loved Geekosity. He
Mm-hmm.
loved being one of the few legitimate news sources out there not covered by an agenda. And it was actually, I think even Sill's last stream with Mikey, he even said that we need Geekosity. So I'm really excited that there'll be a way for Geekosity to Mikey Sutton to live on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, yeah, I'm glad they're coming back. They're going to be stronger than ever. They'll keep on building, and it's exciting news. Exciting news, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really is. And Mikey would love this topic today. I think he would really love what we're doing right now, and I think he'd be happy to see my channel grow because he loves seeing all our channels grow. So I don't really know how to not awkwardly transition from this, so we're just gonna go right to it. right off the bat. And by the way, it should be obvious this movie was out since 2006, so spoilers, obviously. But anyway,
No
just off the bat, what do
spoilers.
you think about the visuals of this movie?
Man, what an amazing set of visuals this movie had. I don't really remember, seeing too many movies like this tone. Just like looking at the background of this right now, just the lights and the shades and the darknesses and this grimy, like gritty, just comic booky look to it was just like fantastic. Kind of like even like a little bit of a sepia tone over, the vibe of it all. It was fantastic. And when I first sat down in the movie theater to see this movie, because this is the movie that I started to like kind of like recognize. Yes, absolutely. Sin City is the very close to us, obviously, but this was one of the first movies that really had me start to pay attention to Zack Snyder and find out like, oh, he did this, oh, he did that, I'm starting to like dive deep into Zack Snyder and the movies that he directed. Stunning visuals, the fast pace, the slow down, the slow-mo versions, just amazing scenery. It was literally almost, yes, absolutely revolutionary. It was almost like reading a comic book or a graphic novel in this movie. It just had that awesome vibe, which absolutely amazing that he's able to put you into these tones and vibes right away as a director. It's really impressive.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And just what I love with Zack Snyder, and I think Josh says this, and especially your background really proves this, is that with Zack Snyder's movies, like anytime you pause it, it just looks good. No matter where you pause the movie, it looks like a painting. And it just very with this movie too, and the color grading I feel like really fits the tone of this movie very well. Is that
Mm-hmm.
it's what I call the Zack Snyder color grading that he has. His DC movies have that exact same color grading, but with this movie, it really I feel like fits so well, particularly for this movie. I mean, it fits well for his DC movies too, but this one as well. Just it really like that kind of darkish tone really kind of creates the somewhat dark atmosphere of it. And all of it, that's what.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Lots of color red. Lots of red in this. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
a reddish filter. But I mean, there's also like the black and white filter. Well, not complete black and white filter because there's definitely color, but like in the flashbacks a little bit when it's like a grayish. I don't know. It's kind of like a grayish filter when in that flashback when he's fighting the wolf when young King Leon. How do you? Oh my god, I forgot how to pronounce
Leonidas.
his name. Leonidas. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, that wolf scene is a little bit more kind of like, black and whitey, gray, bluey tones, it's, dark outside. He thought of everything for every step of the way through, because even, when they're out walking around, it kind of has like, that dusty sepia style tones that I see there. And maybe that's just trying to illustrate like, all the dust and dirt that's, just flying up into the air as they're marching on or they're running towards their enemies. So, yeah,
Yeah, he
absolutely.
does. That's right. Yeah, now that I think about it. Yeah, definitely versus when he's traveling the world and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really love with this movie too, it's like you get a complete black and white filter, I think, when with the sex scene, right? I think that was a complete when he's
I think, I don't know if it is necessarily like that. I think it really depends on like the moon and the tone of the shots that he's trying to do. Like it seems to me like his night shots always have that kind of more black, white, that, blue tone to it, kind of that cool tone during those types of moments versus the hot colors, the hot tones during the battle scenes and everything like that.
Yeah, that's a good point, and definitely a little bit of that blue filter too, because that's why you do see some of the color in the
Mm-hmm.
movie. And but that's just what I really love about it. Just like it really just helps create the tone very well, and that's what I think. I mean, say what you want about Zack Snyder, but I think he probably has the best visuals out of any director.
Yeah, his visuals are always beautiful. Always, you really almost have to like press pause and just like take a look around and see, what's going on. Like I've seen Rebel Moon a few times, and I obviously preparing for this, I watched it again, and you kind of always notice something new or something, like there's just so much depth and complexity to his shots and his visuals that it's just there's always something to look at. And you can watch this movie thousands of times and still see something different, something new each time.
Well, I have a confession to make. I've only seen this movie twice.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, my first time I watched it was when I was visiting my cousin in Florida, in St. Petersburg in 2023. He was shocked I hadn't seen 300, so we watched 300 together, and then I watched it again to prepare for this review.
Shout out to the 727. What up, Berg? But that is madness, Dan. That is madness. You're lucky I'm not in Chicago and I can't kick you down a pit right now. What up, Cathellas Way? Good to see you, Phil. I know Integrity shot me out as well. Good to see you, Integrity. Everybody's in the chat. Brogu, Beyond the Night, Zod Rider. You guys are beautiful people. Geek Defense Initiative.
This is the part where it's hard to keep track of everyone who is in the chat now.
Trevor H. Right? Same here, Trevor H. Like, man, exactly. Integrity. That's yes. Hashtag cancel bad dad.
Man, Corey is really just asking for it lately, isn't he? He really just does not want to be part of this show today. And we have El Necron in the chat. I don't see him in the. I see people saying hey to El Necron, but I can't find him in the.
Who?
Streamer being stupid again.
No, I can't believe that, Dan. You've only seen it twice. That So what's up, Marcus? I think 300 is definitely a movie that either people really like and watch it a bunch of times, or it's the casual watch every now and then. I love 300, and I love what's up, Necron? I love I love that Greek mythology, King Leonidas, the Spartans. It's a battle movie, it's a war movie, it's a love movie, and it's a patriot movie. It's grittiness, man. I absolutely Neo Sevens. Like I can't count the amount of times, and that's the best way to say how many times you've seen 300. At least 300 times. First time I saw it was in Colorado. It was the first movie I saw with probably just the brothers. So the brothers of us went to see a movie. I think it was by ourselves, and man, that was such a movie where people were talking about it for such a long time. And I love what Necron says: 300 razor testosterone level. It's a drug, man. Like this is like if you don't get pumped up and like want to go protect your land and fight for your country and be a free man, this movie just screams that. And man, what would a free man do? And Yeah, like so many things are from this movie overall. I absolutely love this movie. Mulan Lobby back then. Mulan Lobby.
And you know what? One thing with Zack Snyder too is that Zack Snyder, his movies always have the best opening sequences, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I'll say my all-time favorite opening sequence of any movie right now is actually BVS Ultimate Edition. That opening sequence is probably one of the best ones out there, where Bruce Wayne is running through Metropolis and whatnot. But I really did love this one too. This was another really great opening sequence. It's a good way that really shows Leonidas, like showing him how he becomes this badass warrior, like seeing the brutal conditions that he's in, and
Mm,
just seeing him like, oh my god, this guy is shirtless in the cold in winter fighting a wolf with his bare hands.
yeah.
And it was a really good it was a really clever way to show Spartan culture, is that they need their boys to become men, and it's very brutal. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Corey, if I were in his position, I'd die in like 2 minutes. I would be like, I'm just no,
You're getting chucked off the mountain. They're inspecting you back then, and they're just gonna, oh gosh, yeet. Is that what you're saying to me? You're gonna let them yeet you, Bantam?
oh no, I'll kill. Well, uh, I'll put it like this: since I'm going to die anyway, I would kill myself so I don't have to suffer and get eaten by the wolf hand. Just to
Oh,
clarify that
Bantam.
statement.
No, Bantam. No, Bantam. That is not the point of this movie. You have to remember that fight in you, that drive, that masculinity in you that tells you that you got to do something more in life. That you have to fight. You have to survive. That you have to lift up yourself and your people around you, and to fight. And yeah. The Spartan culture is tough, man. They inspected ain't that the truth, red-headed outlaw? These Athenians, boy lovers. No, like just having that, I'm gonna explain it to you. I'm gonna explain it to you like this, Batman. It's the difference between an alpha and a beta. Like you having that alpha mentality to fight for everything that you do, that you're not going to give up. So don't you ever roll over, Batman. You got to fight for it, even if you think you're going to get cut up and you're going to get wasted. Like you still got to fight for it. Look at the Spartans at the very end. They knew what was going to happen at the very end, but yet they still fought, and they knew the greatest victory and the greatest death is to fight and die with your brothers and die for your country. That's the way to go down.
At least they got it. They knew they were going to get a quick death. I'm talking about getting a slow, painful death, being ripped apart by a wolf. If it's a quick,
but come on, Batman. You can kill a wolf. That's meh. And I don't think the death of Leonidas was all that quick. He's getting shot with arrows left and right, and they're all getting shot, and they're holding, like reaching out to each other, and it's was it it's an honor to die next to you, and it's honor to have lived with yours, man. That line there always kills me at the end, man. You got to fight for it, Batman. You got to go down swinging, buddy. Don't ever give up, even if you're put in that situation. Like, it's a tough life. I get it. Those Spartans lived a tough life. The babies were inspected, and if they weren't of quality, they're chucking them over the rocks. Exactly, Bad Channel.
Nope, Integrity's right. That's me. I see a wolf. I'm like, yep, I'm calling him.
Nah.
Well, actually, in Chicago, I call Lyft because Lyft is cheaper in Chicago than Uber. Not other channels, or other cities, but
no surrender. That is Spartan law. By Spartan law, we stand and fight.
Here's the thing. Anything that requires my physical strength, yeah, no. Mental stability, sure. Physical strength, no.
Oh.
No,
I love this, Oracle. Only a Spartan woman gives birth to a real man. I loved that portion as well. Man, Bantan, you just got to fight for it. You got to fight for it. None of this I'm giving up, rolling over mentality. It's a tough life. Don't get me wrong, but you got to think too, Bantan. You know, they would have seen you and they'd be like, all right, this baby's looking all right. We're gonna keep him around. We're not gonna chuck him into the pit of baby bones down there, and we're gonna train you to fight. You would have been started off so early back then. You would have, had some, muscles. You would have, you would have been fine back then. No, your courage inside is you're running for it the second you see a wolf.
Yep. Well, no, maybe I could use my brains to take it out. I would just go for the eyes. I would just kick it. Hopefully, it's a male wolf so I can kick him in the balls at least. I'm not afraid to fight dirty. It's a male wolf, yeah.
Okay. Man, oh gosh, yeah, I don't know where to go from there. Beautiful opening scene. Like the opening sequence is fantastic. The thing that I love about this, as far as you mentioned BVS. BVS is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. BVS, it like that opening credits is fantastic. I'm gonna throw the slight edge to 300 here. I love how 300 is told as a story. Just hearing Dilios around the campfire, and he's like encouraging his men to prepare what it took Leonidas to become their king, and he's building them up. Like when you're hearing that, you're hearing the opening sequence, you're like, you think to yourself, nope, I ain't going to go out there and kill a wolf. I'm going to run for it. That speech alone, that dialogue, that hype the entire movie, how it's told that as a story. In some ways it's propaganda. He's speaking up, the Spartans and what they're doing to encourage all of Greece to stand up against these Persians and wipe them off the face of their earth, their ground. They're get away from our water. They ain't having it back then. That opening credit scenes of and then just hearing that music when like the wolf coming in, and he slowly comes in to the kind of the cavey area, the where the walls are really close to kind of like foreshadow Thermopylae' Pass and what he eventually does to the Persian wolf. The wolf. He's it inspired ideas for great war strategy as well. So yes, Tyler Bates clicked on that, and then the second he kills the wolf, and you hear the people kind of kneel, and you hear the and that key there that like Trey would have been able to sing it so much better than I could. And just hearing that, like every time I'm getting chills right now, Bat Dan. Like just hearing that in my head right now, talking it to you, like it pumps me up. And King Leonidas, is like, man, I'm ready to go out there and fight with some Spartans, man. Like, let's go. Opening sequence is fantastic, Bat Dan. And you better kill yourself a wolf. I'm gonna get me a wolf someday, that's for sure.
Fine. Just for you, next time I visit a zoo, what I will do just for you, Corey, next time I'm at the Brookfield or Lincoln Park Zoo, whichever zoo has wolves, I'm going to jump into the wolf's den and I will snap its neck with my bare hands just to make you happy. Will that make you happy?
No, that would make me disappointed back then. You can't kill a wolf in captivity. You have to go out into the wild, back Dan. Into the wild.
Fine. I will go into the woods and just for you, I will do it in the dawn in midwinter without my shirt on, just to make. Fine, no shoes. Just to make you happy. Okay, will that make you happy?
If you want to kill a wolf, I guess. Not in a zoo. What the hell?
I don't know. It's just the easiest access to a wolf I could think of.
Oh, gosh. Nothing but a loincloth. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Red Hood Outlaw.
Tonight.
Yeah, we're cool. We're getting there. What the hell is happening? Thank you, Red Hood Outlaw.
So, what do you think about this next segment, the Ephors?
Mm-hmm. You're talking about when he goes up Mount and talks to the Ephors about whether or not he can go to war or not. And
Yeah,
are you going to get into the Oracle, or is that another slide?
no, we can just get into Oracle right here too.
Okay,
These are character slides at this point.
perfect. Yeah, so the Ephors, man, like, what a bunch of cowardly, they're, to me, they're nowhere near as they're on my shit list, man. Like, they're your typical politician, just like the council in Sparta. These guys are politicians that are, exactly, Red Hood Outlaw, paid and bought for politicians that were, affected by their greed and their just overall shady bullshitness to not allow Sparta to go to war. Yes, an important holiday for Sparta, and paying tribute to Apollo and everything like that is coming in the fall. But still, there's people knocking on your door, coming for earth and water, your land, and your women, your children, and everything like that. You have to go and defend yourself. You can't be allowing for these, crazy, out of touch politicians living up on this, high cliff, drugging up some, teenage oracle to tell you what you can and what you can't do to protect your free land. And I think it's kind of a interesting, kind of touch on what happens in the real world when it comes to, war and like the danger. Yeah, there's dangerous things out there in the world, and politicians are trying to run, hide it, and it doesn't work like that. You have to go and fight for your land, you fight for your family, fight for your people, fight for your neighbor, fight for each other. And you can't allow for these crazy, Ephors, crazy paid for politicians to tell you what to do. And absolutely, Greek defense, these teenage oracles that they were, doing horrible things to as well. They were drugging them up and, doing these crazy things for them. It's absolutely insane, kind of the BS steps that they had to go through. So my response would have been exactly what King Leonidas did, and that would get a bunch of my close personal gods and go for a walk to the northern gate.
This is what I did love about the Ephors, is that it shows that there are people who rank even above the kings. That there are some people who do have the rules that everyone needs to follow. And what it did is it really helped Leonidas' character, is that he asked for the blessing to go to war, and they were like, no. And it showed how clever Leonidas is. It's the fact that despite that, he used, it's what you brought up, he had a loophole. It's like, oh, I'm not going to war, I'm going on a walk. These are my bodyguards. And if they have to kill people because they're trying to kill him, well, that's not war, that's defending himself. He didn't go to war. And that's what let's pull up this.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
I love what you brought up, the connection to the real world is real life politicians, because look,
Facts,
politics
integrity.
suck. I don't ever talk, on this channel, I don't ever talk politics on this channel unless I'm just shitting on it all. If I'm shitting on it all, I'll say that all much, and that's what I'll say, is that it's always hard. You can never get anything done. There's always some stuff to get around, and not just politics in this country, but in work and in just even stuff like organizations you're in, and you always have to find ways to work around it, and it's frustrating, and it's a it shows that no matter where we are in the world, there's always some things that remain constant, no matter how far advanced in the future, in the past we are. There's things in life that always remain, and I think that's what it really. And again, they're not a big part of this movie. I mean, they're a very small part of this movie. You see them in the beginning, he uses that loophole, and then really you never really hear from them again afterwards.
No, not necessarily the Ephors, but this entire movie is about freedom, and I love what happens in the next portion of the scene, where he climbs down the mountain, he's pissed off, and he's up all night thinking about what this oracle had to say, what this Ephor had to say, and I love how how the queen says to him, like, why is some teenage girl keeping my king up all night? And he tells her about the struggles that he's having, with what he knows he needs to do, but what his people outside and above him, even King Leonidas has to follow laws and everything like that. And the thing that I love the absolute most, one of my absolute favorite lines, is when Queen says, what you need to ask yourself is, what would a free man do? And that right there, like, that is the driving factor in this movie. What would a free man do? And I completely agree. Don't live your life. We're free here, and we're, don't live your life with allowing, people to tell you what to do, like, within reason. No. I'm not even going to back down off of that. You don't ever let people tell you, what a free man can do. Wear whatever you want. Don't wear whatever you want. You live your life how you want to live your life, and go for it, man. Like, it's like, I love that line so much. What would a free man do? And then he goes off and takes a stroll. Like, it's such a beautiful, beautiful scene.
It is. It really shows. I mean, it's why the Spartans are fighting in the first place. I mean, the whole point is that they want freedom from the Persians, and if they just give in to the Ephors completely, well, what's the point of them fighting? They might as well just let the Persians take over, and it shows that why the King Leonidas. No, he says, when I say he wants freedom, he wants actual freedom, and he will do what he needs to get there. He'll disobey the powers that be, and he'll choose his battles. Like, he's not going to go to war with the Ephors if there's a way around it, like just using a loophole.
But like, yeah, sure. But like, man, like, when you think about, like, the Persians came in and they had the heads of leaders and kings, and they're showing the heads of these people that they've conquered and taken over. So these Persians are a force to be reckoned with, and just the fact that they're not going to let that scare them, that they're going to live their lives as free men, that they're not going to allow for any invasion of their land, is absolutely amazing. Like, it's just so well written. The opening scenes up to this portion, it's amazing.
Yeah, it really does. It really adds to, like, the great overall world building of this movie. And there was something that you were talking about here in this scene is Queen Gorgo. And or Gorgo, how do you pronounce? I just saw it written, but I'll say this. I've always said this before. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Zack Snyder is probably the best male director with female characters ever. Is that he knows how to write and direct female characters. He knows how to make them badass without coming off as Mary Sues. He just has them. This is what I like about Zack Snyder. When he has, like, these check-marked boxes, his first aspect is a character who just happens to be a check mark. But he's not just having a female character who's great at everything. No. but he just has this. What I like about her is that she supports her husband, but she still stands up for herself at the same time. Is that, again, referring to her, is it takes a strong woman to to give birth to a real man. That's very true, and you really see that with Gorgo right there. Is that she's the one who stands up to people. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Super Bowl Corey, not physically, but I would argue that she's stronger than King Leonidas in a lot of ways.
So I don't know if I'd say that. I would say I'd say that they're even, and I think the best way to say it is there's a mutual respect there. Like I obviously, King Leonidas is a man; he can overpower easily, but her strength is within her, just her will. She's totally Spartan through and through. When she says only real men are given birth by Spartan women, like only Spartan women can give birth to real men, like that. Ain't that the truth? These women love their kids, but they also love their country so much that they're willing to let their kids go off and go into battle, go in and learn how to fight, taken from their families, stolen from their moms, ripped away from them, and go and learn how to become soldiers. That is their profession, and it's an amazing scene. Like they're the way, like Lena Headey, she plays a fantastic job with this, and like I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can top one or the other, because it's a mutual respect, and it's very even is how I see it. Because like another thing that I think about is like she's opening her mouth and she's talking in the presence of the king, and he has no issues whatsoever about it. And my favorite portion is when he tells the Persian to choose his next words wisely, and he goes off and starts saying some stuff, and they bring out the swords and they're by the pit and everything like that. He knows, what's at stake if he takes out these messengers. And I love, before he does it, King Leonidas looks back at his queen, and she gives him the permission. She gives him the nod. Exactly, Oracle. She gives him the permission to go out and to defend his country. Like, that, to me, they're free people. They're equals. Absolutely. They are amazing people. The queen was fantastic. She, absolutely beautiful how they written that. And you're 100% right, Batman, that Zack Snyder does a fantastic job of not only casting fantastic women as his actresses and everything like that, but also Zack Snyder what's up, Skywalker? Zack Snyder creates a fantastic story arc for them. Like, they're strong, powerful women, and they play just in a key, integral role. Because she was like I love how it flashes back and forth. He's off, fighting, and she's fighting. She's fighting as well. So like, just because King Leonidas is gone doesn't mean that the queen is done fighting. She's fighting the political battle. She is so smart and just amazing, incredibly, she's willing to do whatever it takes, and literally whatever it takes to try to bring the council over to her side. The politicians that are such bullshit in this movie, to bring them to their side to help fight the battle there. And it's insane. She is an amazing person. And they match each other, and they man, you could tell, like, in that movie, the love that they had for each other, yet it wasn't spoken as well. And the amount of appreciation and just their loyalty to the country and their loyalty to each other is absolutely captured and beautiful in this movie. It's amazing.
Yeah, and what I really love, though, too, is that unlike a lot of other movies, is that it's the woman needs the man to save her all the time. And I'm not against it completely, but it's nice when they can save themselves too. And that's what she does at the end, is that there's a guy in the movie who, again, I don't know if this word will take him down, so I'll just say ropes her and is trying to discredit Leonidas. Yeah, Leonidas. I don't know why I'm so bad pronouncing that name. And she saves the day on the political end at the end of the day, is that she stabs him with a sword and all the Persian gold comes out. So not only did she save herself from her rapist, but she also exposed the guy who was trying to take over the kingdom at the end. Is that she kills her, but she knows to kill her, or she kills him, but she knows to kill him in the spot that will expose him at the same time. Because if that Persian gold did not come out, queen or not, you cannot just kill a political figure like that without a given reason. And here, especially like when they're already kind of losing her power, but in that moment, she cemented her family's power back at that same time. It's okay, I'll put it like this. It's not so much that she's stronger than Leonidas, it's that they're both stronger in different areas. That's kind of the way I like to look at it. Is like with any good couple, the man will have his strengths here and here, the woman will have her strengths here and here, or two men or two women if we're going general, whatever. But the point is, one partner has their strength, the other has their strength. So that's what I really loved about their relationships. They each had their own strengths that they contributed to this power dynamic.
They're a power couple easily. The effectiveness and the way in which they lead their nation and country is absolutely amazing. You're 100% right. Power couple, and it's something that, you know, like if you're single or you're dating somebody, you know, that's what you want to strive for as well. Like having a relationship like, you know, that where you're both, you know, contributing to conquer the world and conquer great things. You know, it's beautiful, this movie.
Yeah, it's just so many great characters, and what I love too is that she defends herself against this guy, Theron. And what I love about this character is that it shows that just like in real life, when there's a war, it's not as simple as the good guys are here, the bad guys are there. It's all good guys here, all bad guys here. No, it's not that simple. It's like with is that there's good and bad people on both sides. And with Theron, you really see that, is that with a war, you see people who are supposed to be your allies trying to use it to usurp them, and get power and rise up to power themselves. And that's what I really love about, well, I'll put it like this. I like Theron the way we're supposed to as a character, but I hate him the way that we're supposed to because he's a villain. And what he did to Queen Gorgo, there's no redemption for that thing. Like if I see someone do that to a woman, and I think I'm pretty sure, given the context of that statement, I'm pretty sure YouTube will not flag me for threatening to beat people up in that scenario. But no, seriously, like I have no patience for that kind of thing. But this is the thing with Zack Snyder, though. He's not just showing it just to show it. He's just showing it to be realistic. Like, whether we like it or not, this is what happened. Stuff like this is what would happen. And that he's willing to show what you have to go through. But at least the guy got his consequence at the end, is that he got killed and his name tarnished.
Man, wasn't Grease fun? You know, surprise, surprise, a corrupt politician trying to allow for your country to be invaded and taken over. Wow, you know, like he got exactly what he deserved, and that's a sword through the gut. You know, this will not be over quickly. I am not sure. I'm not sure, Queen. Man, like corrupt politician, you know, trying to, you know, leave their, you know, country out to dry. He got exactly what he deserves. And man, shout out to, I have the cast up here. It was Dominic West who played that role, and what a fantastic job he did as well. You know, so another great job was Zach in casting, because Every time I see him on screen, I want to punch him in his face or shove a sword in his gut. Like he just he pisses me off so much in the movie. I'm sure he's a fantastic human being in real life, but man, yeah, that guy is so frustrating. He annoys me, and it's corrupt politicians, man, getting what they deserve. But that was Greece back then. E2 Brutus. What a time to be alive. They didn't take no shit from their politicians, that's for sure.
No, they did not, and just shows how brutal time was back then. And hopefully, we're more civilized now. I know not perfectly. I'll stop myself right there before we go too far into that. But overall, it just showed the time. He showed the time period, and he showed like what the issue was. Is to end this topic on exactly what Geek Defense Initiative says is that there are in most wars, there are bad guys, but the good guys aren't saints. Exactly right. Is that there are plenty of good guys who are not good, just like Theron. But one guy who was good was Dilios slash Narrator. And what I really love is that Zach did a good job of making us all think that they were two different characters. Like the narrator was just a random nobody in this story, that there was nothing going on special with this character. Just a narrator, like any movie. You just hear a narrator, you just accept that they're not really part of the story, they're just exposition. But here's what I love about the twist at the end is that Zack Snyder made it that no, this is Dilios is telling the story. What we're hearing is Dilios' recounting of the tale. Is that one, his voice sounds different. It's like their voices sound completely different. And then when Dilios is revealed to be the narrator, you hear like a mix of the two different voices. So it's like a good way to kind of transition, like, oh, okay, this was the same guy. These were the same people all along.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I kind of picked up right away that it was him, just by the way he talks. But they do kind of have the narrator version of him have this more of a weathered, battered a voice of 300 Spartans. Because you got to think about it. He's told this story thousands of times by the time he's telling this story on screen, meaning to all of Greece, like it didn't get all of Greece all at once. The story had been told numerous times. And I love that about how Zack Snyder brought it all together and how they had that part in the movie where, like, Dilios is a fighter. He wanted to stay. He wanted to die a warrior's death. And he's the only one that looked back at his Spartans, his 300 Spartans. He knew he was leaving them. He knew that he lost his, chance to be with them to fight to death. But he knew what King Leonidas said about him was true, that he has a way with words and a way to inspire everybody, where all of Greece was going to need to hear this story of how 300 Spartans stood up to all Persia of these Persians, and were able to, make a big enough dent to unify all of Greece to fight them off and become one nation and push out the Persians.
Exactly. It shows that why he really was the hero of the story, that he in some ways was the most important person in this story, because at the end of the day, he could have gone and he could have died with them and that would have been honorable. But what he did in a way was honorable and more important is that he united people. He united people so that the deaths were not meaningless. Because if he went with them, if he went with Leonidas and just like, I'm going to die with you, their deaths would have meant nothing. They all would have died for nothing. And like, here's the thing about dying for your cause. I only respect that if it's a death that actually contributes to something. If it actually causes something. But dying for the sake of dying for your cause, dying for your cause for the sake of dying for your cause, no, that's bullshit. Do not. And that's what why it showed his role was so important is that he's willing to. Yeah, that's actually a good point. That's actually a
Mhm.
really I like what Geek Initiative says here.
Well,
And
exactly, because it's that battered voice. It's the, he traveled a long ways to come and tell people this story. He just got done fighting Persians for days, and now he's sharing the story.
exactly. And here's those like when you do a twist, what I really love about a twist in a movie is that when you go back and think about it, it actually all adds up now. And one thing I love is that correct me if I'm wrong. Now, maybe I'm wrong. You've seen this movie more than me, but I'm pretty sure the B plot, the Queen Gorgo's parts in back home and in Sparta, with all that, pretty sure you don't hear the narrator at all during those segments. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, you might be right actually on that.
Because
I don't
it
know if
wouldn't
I've
make
ever like specifically looked for that before. Huh.
because if you think about it, the narrator he's telling the story of Sparta.
Yeah.
He's not that was what King Leonidas told him to tell, but he did not tell him to tell the story about them and what's going on back in Sparta because they're not there. How would they know about it? So that's why you don't hear the narrator because that's not part of his story. That's what we the audience get to see, but the rest of the but everyone who's supposed to hear him doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Definitely. Yep. Same for
Oh, yeah, I
me.
guess it is rated R.
Hmm. I think no, not maybe, maybe no, maybe it's close to being there for me. I can't remember if it was my first or it may have been. It been hmm, fantastic.
And in he's if you really think about it, in a lot of ways, this guy is the exact opposite. Wait, did you have anything else you wanted to say about this character before we move on?
He did a fantastic job playing. Being a huge contributor to the movie. His voice is fantastic. It was perfect to tell the story.
Yeah, really great way to tell the story. And what I love is that he's in a lot of ways he's the exact opposite of of Ephialtes. Is that because think about it, they were both given orders by the king to not fight, but to do what their talents would be better used for. The difference here is that Dilios was like he respects his country, he respects the cause, and he knows that he has to play a part. Ephialtes was driven by his own ego, if you really think about it, is that if he truly cared about Sparta, if he truly cared about everything, he would have honored what King Leonidas said and he would have attended to the wounded because that's still something people need. You still need that. That's an important part of war, but he wanted the more honorable thing, even if he wouldn't be the most useful. And he let his pride get the better of him and betray his country.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think about Ephialtes a lot, um, and how that all went down. Like this, I don't think I don't believe I feel this. I don't think this is. I don't. This is like this was movie added and everything like that with Ephialtes and everything like that. Man, but I sometimes wonder if Leonidas, like obviously Ephialtes should have taken King Leonidas up on his advice and on how he can help by helping the wounded on the battlefield, giving them water, removing them from the battlefield. That would have been, an honorable thing because he's constantly looking for honor, and it is what he tells you. But in reality, he's being selfish. He wants more. He wants glory, and glory can look different in many different ways. And if he would have, helped his Spartan brothers that he so-called claimed that they were, he would have helped remove him off the battlefield. I like, obviously thinking of like alternate ideas, it makes me wonder, like, what if King Leonidas said, "Hey, watch the back, trail area to make sure nobody comes that way and tell us if they do," or, try to get them involved in different ways. But ultimately, King Leonidas cares about, his men left and right of him, and he needs to protect them with everything that he possibly can. And Ephialtes is a weak link in the chain, and just how it works in the Spartan world. Let me ask you about Dan. Have you ever seen the deleted scenes for 300?
No.
Huh. It's there's like, if you ever watch them, like I think they're on YouTube, but HBO like was talking to Zack Snyder, and he showed like 3 deleted scenes, and Ephialtes is actually in 2 of them, and it gets pretty crazy. Like I rewatched them before we did this to kind of re-jog my memory, because I had a feeling we'd talk about Ephialtes. So right after that scene, do you want to know some of the deleted scenes?
Go ahead.
So Ephialtes, right after he's told he can't be a part of the Spartan army, he starts cursing, his mother, his father, the gods. He checks off his helmet over the edge, the shield, and everything like that. And then he eventually jumps off the ledge as well and tries to commit suicide.
Oh,
and he throws himself off the cliff. And a little bit later, you see it again, and you see, like, it's the night the Spartans are celebrating and everything like that from a solid day, and they're cheering and everything like that. And you see on the ledge Ephialtes laying there. And all of a sudden he wakes up and he curses the gods and his mother and his father again for, not dying after throwing himself off the cliff. And he eventually, curses the Spartans again, and he takes off everything, more. And he then makes his way to enemy lines. So it's there's one other scene as well, but not with Ephialtes. And so it's crazy. He wanted glory. He was selfish, and may Ephialtes live forever.
And it shows the traits of King Leonidas' character, because one is, he didn't judge Ephialtes based on his looks. He wasn't like, "Oh, you look weird, you look deformed, there's no way that you can fight with us, there's no way you'll be able to." No, he gave him a chance. He let him raise his shield and whatnot to see if he could do it, and he couldn't. That's when Leonidas said no, because he wasn't judging him based on his looks, he was judging him based on his actual skill. And he just did not have the skill. Right or wrong, fair or not fair, war ain't fair, people. So,
well, King Leonidas knew that he was, shorthanded for sure. He appreciated the courage that he thought he saw from Ephialtes, and there was courage from Ephialtes there to want to fight with the Spartans and everything like that. So you could tell that King Leonidas respected that. But like, as you saw, you have to be an able-bodied man to be able to lift that shield up. He had a really nice thrust. He complimented him on that thrust, but he wasn't able to lift up that shield. And you wonder what would have happened if he could have lifted it up. Maybe it had been a different story, but he couldn't, and he reminded him one thing that his father should have taught him, which is the importance of the phalanx. And the phalanx is how they fight. and they needed to needed to protect the man next to you and everything like that. So he gave him he gave him a great option to help the injured and help the wounded. And if Ephialtes really thought about it, he would have known that he would have gotten the same glory that all of the other Spartans got. And he would have gotten a Spartan death because they were eventually going to be outnumbered. So he chose very poorly, and he still disgraced his family and everything like that as well. He says Leonidas' test was unfair, though, that shield tactic is only used by the heavy infantry, hoplite phalanx. Light infantry was another matter.
Oh, were they just going to hope that they were never going to use heavy infantry, though? Was King Leonidas supposed to just hope that the other side was never going to use that?
Thigh to neck. Like the Bat Channel says, thigh to neck.
And this kind of reminds me in a way, you know, what you said is there's a segment in the Clone Wars TV series, and Corey, you've gone through to season 5, so you'll know this segment.
I'm done with Clone Wars.
Oh, good. So you'll know this exact analogy. Remember when the Domino Squad was going to pass the test, but one of the bounty hunters didn't want them to pass, and he cheated for them, but then Shakti was like, okay, let me just slow down for people who don't know. So basically, all the clone troopers in Clone Wars, they have to pass the test in order to fight on the battlefield. And one of the bounty hunters who was involved in training them did not want them to pass. And he basically took away blasters that they needed to pass the test, and Shakti, the Jedi responsible for training them, just decided to let it go. He's like, the enemy's not going to play fair. Why should we play fair either? So that's just, but unlike the Domino Squad, unlike Ephialtes, they found a way out. They found a way to make it work and pass the test. And exactly, Leonidas. He just wanted he gave him purpose beyond just himself, but he didn't have it.
Look how quickly he went to the Persian side, and he easily, switched over. You see him walking in, and you see all this, weird stuff going on, and all the things that he wanted in the world, and it was all selfish. It was all about himself, and he was never a Spartan. Never a Spartan, because Spartans live selflessly. They live for their community. They live for their people. He wanted glory, and he didn't want it the right way, because Spartans got the glory. He wanted a Spartan death, or thought he wanted a Spartan death. Didn't know what it really meant.
You know what? I just realized something. When Leonidas said, "May you live forever," at first I thought he was still trying to be gracious to Ephialtes, but no, he didn't want Ephialtes to die with the consequence. He wanted Ephialtes to live because he wanted him to live with the consequences of what he did. Death would have been an escape. Death would have been like, no, he's like, no, you're going to live with what you did. You're going to live with betraying us.
Well, there's that aspect, Batman, but that's a great point. But there's also the aspect of the Spartan death. They want to die in battle. That's how they want that warrior's death. They want to fight. They don't want to grow old. They want to die on the battlefield, protecting their country, protecting their loved ones, protecting their family, protecting their land. They want the warrior's death. All the Spartans mention, about having that, looking for that one person down there that will, be, strong enough to take them out. They're looking for it. So their way to glory as Spartans is to die on the battlefield. And when he says he wants you to let, like, Ephialtes, may you live forever, that's saying, yeah, live without that glory, live without that Spartan's death, live without that warrior's death. Exactly, said havoc. Road to Valhalla, like Vikings. They were a badass culture, that's for sure. And what an amazing, gift in some ways is to die for your country, to die for your family, to die for your friends and everything like that, to pay the ultimate sacrifice, to keep freedom, for free men to keep people free is beautiful, man.
It is, and if Ephialtes did what he was supposed to do, and who knows? For all he knows, when he attended the wounded, he could have died. Like some Persians could have come while the others had left to attack the wounded, and he could have died protecting them. He still could have gotten a warrior's death, but at the end of the day, he didn't. It's what he said. He wanted to redeem his family's honor, but that's the thing. He didn't though. That's the reality. Is that it was all about himself at the end of the day. It wasn't about the cause. Is that he wanted, it's kind of like what we say nowadays. Like, people want clout nowadays. That's just kind of to put it in modern terms, that's just kind of what it was for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's very selfish.
And we'll end this topic with this nice quote from Geek Defense Initiative. Live for nothing or die for something. That's great quotes. And now I want to get into, hold on, let me put this up. Sometimes StreamYard is so bad at changing these topics for us, but Captain Artemis and, oh my God, all these names are so hard to pronounce. But what do you think about these two characters?
Man, Captain, what an amazing character. For him to, fought with King Leonidas for so long that he's, there's a line, where he says, "No better captain." Ain't that the truth? Because he's willing to give Astinos, his son, to the battle. And, even as King Leonidas is looking over his 300 men, he's like walking through and he's like, all right, he gives the nod to Dilios and he's like looking around and he's like, all right. But he sees Artemis's son there, Captain's son. And he's like, man, he hasn't had the chance to feel a woman's touch yet. And freedom isn't free integrity. Absolutely right. It's
Astinos.
Yeah, Astinos.
Astinos.
It's beautiful because he's willing to, he knows what they're up against. Captain knows what he's going for, and for him to give, his son to the march, they knew before they left Sparta that they were not coming home, and for him to still bring your son, that just shows you that warrior commitment that the Spartans had. Like, can you imagine, sending being a captain and sending your own flesh and blood to die, to go off to war, and they're probably not coming back, as well as yourself, but you're still going to send them because freedom isn't free. And it's an amazing and just deep moment. The level of commitment to the Spartan way to be free men is beautiful, and the captain is a beautiful reminder for that, as Geek Defense Initiative says as well. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And I love that it's a realistic trait of humans today, is that when you have to pay a price, when it's later down the line, you're like, oh, it's fine. But when it actually happens, even though it's like, here's the kind of analogy. It's like using your credit card to pay for something expensive, is that you're paying for it right now. You're happy to do it because you're not paying it right now. That'll be later. Later's not going to happen. But then when it does happen, you're like, oh shit. And this is what happens with Artemis, is that let me pull up this. Someone actually put it in the chats. I
Artemis.
saw it. Astinos.
Astinos.
Astinos. Is that when Astinos actually died, when he finally did die for the cause, now Artemis is like crying and upset and like regretting even bringing his son to battle because he didn't think that far ahead. He had the instant in a way the instant thought of, I don't want to say gratification because I do think he did care about his country, but like knowing that he was helping his country right then and there, going the extra mile. But now that he actually had to give that extra mile up, it was like
I don't
upsetting
know.
to him.
I don't know if I took it like that, Pat Dan. Like I would say the reason Captain was upset was because there's a I can't remember the exact quote of it, but there's a portion where he's yelling and screaming and he's upset and he's been away from the he's suffering alone. He's away from the group, and when he finally King Leonidas gets the word of things about to go down, that they found the back passageway, and it's looking like it's time to prepare for glory. Captain rejoins the men and the group, and everybody's like, "Oh, whoa!" And even King Leonidas, shows a little bit of sympathy towards Captain, and he says, something to the like, "I'm so sorry for your loss," and he says immediately back to King Leonidas that he was sorry that he never told his son that he cared for him, that he was his favorite and he was his beloved son. But now Captain has filled his heart with hate and that there is no love in him. And he becomes an amazing warrior. He knows he's going to pay the warrior, go to the warrior's death and everything like that. But he's flipped a switch. There's no love in him anymore. There's nothing but hate. And, just that flip of the switch where it's now he's going to kill as many as he possibly can. Blood trick, exactly, Trey. He's going to kill as many as he can. He knows he's going to go down. His death is, again, chills. Is insane and amazing. He fought every last breath he could possibly do, and he did it. He did it amazingly. Yeah, it was, you immediately see too King Leonidas kind of smile because while he was being a little showed a little bit of care to his captain there, and felt for him. He loved that response that Captain gave to him, that Artemis gave to him, that I filled my heart with hate. Like, holy shit, that's the person I'm freaking scared of now. You watch that guy on the battlefield because he is going to go nuts. He's going to take a spear to the gut and he's going to pull you in so he can stab you with his own swords and cut your head off and everything like that. He was ready for glory, and it was amazing.
It shows, and that's the thing with any parent. When you take away their child, that's dangerous. Don't ever take away a parent's child, because if you do that, it's not going to end well for you unless you kill them too. If you're gonna kill someone, but like this, if you're gonna kill a child, you better kill that parent too that same day. Not that I condone killing, I'm just talking about in terms of war, because if you don't, it's going to get brutal for you. So it just shows that Artemis is still loyal to his country no matter what. And in Astinos, there were times where I felt like, I don't know if you got this vibe at all, but like I felt like there was times where he was a bit like a teenager at times, like kind of acting like a teenager, like
His son?
getting, yeah, Astinos. He was like acting like a teenager at times, like getting. I don't know if they didn't have alcohol, but like partying with friends. They were like, there was like one scene where it's like just like hanging out late at nights, not resting. They were like, I don't know what, I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong now. I've seen this twice, but they were like singing with someone, with a friend of his.
Well, you got to think too. He is a he's a young man. This is his first, real fight, real war. And he's young in this. And if you remember being young and 18, and we were kind of stupid, and we thought we were untouchable and we were superheroes. And there's a lot of just that mentality. There's a reason why they did that. I think one of the things that you're like, the thing that I pick up, that what you're trying to say is how he's laughing.
Yes,
we're fighting underneath under the shade, and we'll fight our arrows will blot out the sun, and we'll fight in the shade. And just the ability to under shield laugh at that moment, because we're just arrows are raining down on him. And he thinks about what his friend said. To be honest, I'd probably start laughing as well. It's hilarious, like we'll fight in the shade of they're under the shade of their armor and their shields. And I think it just shows to the youngness of the group. Like obviously the men are going to be a little bit, the older ones who've been to war, they're going to be a little bit more focused, keeping their mind on the mission. And there's always going to be a little swag when it comes to the younger crowd, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's it's funny how he starts laughing. And what are you laughing at? Well, you have to say, we'll fight in the shade. And then it's great because they all kind of start chuckling at it. Like I love that scene so much. It just shows the mentality that they're at, that they knew that they were the top dogs and they were going to kill some Persians.
And it just shows that even more, you need a little comedic relief to get through the times. But and it just showed that even though this is, in a way, it's realistic humor in these settings, that teenagers joke at the most inappropriate times sometimes. That's just realistic. That's just it just shows again how good Zack Snyder really is at blending the tones in a way too. Just so much great stuff. So many great characters in this movie, and especially the villain, King Xerxes. I love how they made this guy look tall. They made him look, I swear, he's supposed to be like 7 foot?
Well, they try to portray him as a god. So yeah, Xerxes. He's they had to do something to him. He kept saying all the time that he was divine and that he was a god. So what better way to illustrate that a bunch of Persians would have, fallen underneath his reign and underneath his control than making this tall, amazing, gold, color, divine, embrace me for I'm your God King type, vibes and feel to him. And I'm glad Geek Defense Initiative brought this up,
really?
Because yes, he is a short guy as well. But when you see him standing next to King Leonidas, he looks like he's like damn near 10 feet tall. He's just like a humongous guy. And they and that's where we get into the visuals once again, where Zack Snyder wanted to make this guy look like King Xerxes was larger than life, that he was this god among men type thing. And for him to, just tower over this King Leonidas, it would have been, a threat tactic. Like, holy cow, can you see how big that guy is next to King Leonidas? It's, hey, Nightmare Allegory. And then, by the way, I want to say shout out to Integrity. Thank you for the kind words as well, Bob. I saw that. So, I agree too. I still think I'm a superhero as well.
Yeah, I'll say that you're a superhero, even if you are. Well, I know sometimes there's a debate between superhero and villain at times, but
why would I be a villain?
I have a feeling you're. Yep. That's why. So, anyway, I just love the way that Xerxes is. Again, like Xerxes isn't really a god. He's a human who refers to himself as a god, but the way he dresses, he's really full of himself in a lot of ways. Like the fact that he wears all this more jewelry than you need to. Like, my God, I would not want that many piercings in my body. I mean, personally, me, I wouldn't want any piercings in my body personally, but I know, but even that many, like, my God, that's a lot right now. But the way he's really smart in has a way of giving in to people what they want and using it to his advantage. Look at Ephialtes, for example, is that he knew that Ephialtes wanted glory. He knew that he wanted to screw it with the Spartans, and he used that to his advantage. He keeps saying, I am kind. He acts kind, but he's not really being kind. He knows that it's going to get him what he wants. And this is what I like about Xerxes in a lot of ways, is that a lot of villains, they just jump straight to torture, 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 torture. And I'm not talking about in terms of morality, but a lot of times it's not practical. Sometimes it's just easier to just give them what they want if they know they're willing to give the information. Just bribe them, and it's just easier. You get it faster, it's more efficient. Boom, bam, done. And that's what I just little things like that I love about Xerxes. And he just his voice just has like this real commanding presence to it. This like this is a guy that you're scared of. This is a guy that when I'm talking to him, I don't want to mess with this guy. I'm like, ugh, stay like, oh, fine. I'm not gonna fight you. Let's see what Trey says.
The world will know that free men stood against a tyrant, that few stood against many, and before the battle was over, even a god king can bleed. Man, I tell you, you know, I think, you know, obviously what the 300 Spartans did, he embarrassed King Xerxes. And King Xerxes went and tried to, absolutely. I like what Geek Defense Initiative says there. He tried to get Leonidas. He was realizing he's losing a lot of men. You know, he still has plenty of men to kill them, and he knows that. But you know, in some ways, he's kind of like, wow, you know, what does Xerxes want more than anything? He wants praise. He wants glory. He wants to be a god. And for you to not embrace him as a god is a bigger insult to him than you killing all of his men. He wants your compliance. He wants you to bow before him. And he's willing to give you everything that you want. And that includes that you're, you know, don't have to worry about the Athenians anymore. And they're going to bow before you as King of Sparta, King Leonidas, that you're going to be able to do all these things and have all these riches in the world and have these servants just like me. And all I request of you is to bow, to take a knee. And, you know, thank God for that massive Charlie horse in King Leonidas's leg, quad there, that he wasn't kneeling would be tough. But why he jokes about that, you know, the real standpoint is it doesn't matter what you can offer King Leonidas. It doesn't matter that you can give him all the riches in the world, that you can give him all the women in the world, all the water in the world, all the land in the world, to have people be your slaves, to, you know, have people kneel before you and just be a god among men, basically. Yet the only thing that you have to do is bow before this tyrant, this tyrannical god, Six Emperor Tyrannus, exactly. They want you to follow this into this god and this false god, and that's not what a free man would do. And that's what this whole thing's about. What would a free man do? And he constantly revisits that in his mind. What would a free man do? And it's not bowing, it's not kneeling for this fake god, and he's not going to fall into this trap. And he knows that he's, you know, he's willing to, he by him showing up there, he knew that he was going to give his give his life for, you know, a greater good, which, you know, he knew that Greece was going to have to come together in order to fight against this tyrannical Xerxes, this fake god. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like the amount of sheer just hatred that he, you know, he still couldn't get. He offered everything that he wants himself, everything that he wants himself to King Leonidas to survive and everything like that. And yet he still wouldn't fall for it. He still doesn't believe that he's a god. It's beautiful. Just the frustration he, you know, gets when he pulls away. And then I don't know if it's okay to talk about the end right now with King Xerxes, but
there's an ending segment.
Okay, we'll talk about that later then.
But yeah, just going. But before the ending segment's in 2 segments, but it just again he's just a really just a really scary guy that you don't want to mess with. The fact that I think making him tall was a really good way to kind of give him that ego that he needed, just to give him that intimidating force. And as you said, and I guess that's the one thing he asked from Ephialtes. It wasn't even just being practical, I guess. It was also he gave him what he wanted. He kneeled for him. And he says, like, you know, I am kind. He says that over and over again. He's obviously not, but what I like in some ways, I think he truly believes that about himself. He truly believes himself to be a kind person, even though he's killing people. Because it just shows that's the kind of guy he is. Is that it's kind of he's willing to intimidate through fear to unite, and he's just as long as you bow to him. But and again, it's like Ephialtes in a way, driven by ego. That's what they both are. They're both driven by ego, just in different ways. And everyone.
Have you ever seen 300 Rise of an Empire?
I have not seen that one.
So that one came out in like 2014. It was written or it was directed by somebody other than Zack Snyder, but I want to say Zack was one of the writers on it. And King Xerxes has
Josh?
What?
I said, "What up, Josh?" Josh isn't.
Oh, Josh, what's up, buddy? We'll be thinking about it and praying for you tomorrow, buddy.
Absolutely.
But King Xerxes is it kind of has a little bit of a backstory there. And I agree with what Red Hooded Outlaw says here. He's not a kind or generous God. It is a seduction of a lie of power. He only wishes people to serve him. And that's ultimately what it's always been about. He wants people to bow before him. And the fact that he can't get King Leonidas to do it is what frustrates him more than anything in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we'll get to that before we get to that. But everyone's afraid of him except this guy, King Leonidas. And this is what I love about this guy is that he's raised in war in harsh conditions to be like this tough, fierce warrior. And has this big exterior that, you know, he's a tough guy and whatnot, but you don't see it, but he has a lot of compassion. Not through his words, he's not emotional, but you can see it through his actions. Little things like the fact that he didn't want anyone fighting with him unless they had a son to carry on their name. Is that he did not want any family's names to die with him because he knew that was important. And it's a little detail like that I love. The fact that he values his queen so very much that, again, I mean, back in those times, let's be honest, men and women were not equal. So, I mean, he could literally command his woman around. I mean, again, I don't condone that behavior. That's just what the time was. He could do that. He could easily do that, but he doesn't because he values people. He actually values the woman that he loves. And he doesn't want people. It's like when he told Ephialtes that he needed to protect his men. It just shows you in war, every man is valuable for each other. Like he wants people to protect each other. Is that he doesn't want it. He knows that he's going to send people to die, but he doesn't want to just send people to die just to die. He wants to keep people alive as much as possible, and then when they have to die, they accept it. But he's not looking for it. That's what I love about him. is that he really does, even though he doesn't show it, he really does care about his people. Like, he doesn't show it with words so much, but through his actions, he really does. He cares. He's very compassionate, even if you don't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, you know, I love everything about King Leonidas. He's a fantastic leader. He leads from the front. He's the very front of the phalanx. He's a fantastic warrior. People say that he's from the bloodline of Hercules himself.
Oh, really?
They were, yeah,
not...
yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good.
That's true. Everybody was free. They were free in Sparta, and that's what's beautiful about Sparta and being a free man and freedom as a whole. Everybody, mankind was free in Sparta, and it's how it should be. King Leonidas, he grew up and lived that warrior life. He's while
Hercules is Roman. Common misconception. Apparently, Hercules, the name is actually Roman. Hercules is the Greek name.
What I was saying was, he is 100% strong. He's 100% warrior, but I love the fact that how much he loves and respects his queen. We mentioned before, they're a power couple for sure. He trusts her with his life. She trusts him with her life. They work together so well. They value and honor each other immensely. Absolutely beautiful. He's a fantastic leader in battle. He loves his men. He cares for his men. But there's still that Spartan, how tough you have to be as Spartan. To be a Spartan, there's still that love value as well, that love for their country, their love for their fellow man, their love for their fellow woman, and what they need to do to protect Sparta as a whole and be free men, free women. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous, and it's funny. The Persian god, or the Persian fake god Xerxes, King Xerxes, said he was going to wipe him off the history book. And look at us, thousands of years later, still talking about King Leonidas and how amazing of a warrior he was, and all the myths and legend of King Leonidas. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It's fun to talk about him, even in the culture today. King Leonidas represents being what it takes to be a free man, and even in today's society. Mulan Labe, come and get them. I know every time back then you're like, you know what, Corey, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to burn down your Christmas tree or take down your Christmas lights and everything like that. I sent you numerous times. Persian, come and get them. Mulan Labe back then, come and get it. Because I'm not giving them up. I'm not giving anything up to the government, to you, as far as my Christmas lights go. And Mulan Labe back then which is the Greek words for come and get it. Persian, come and get it, Persians. It's just, man. I love that scene. And since somebody mentioned one-liners, that's one of my favorite one-liners ever. That's something that I've honestly contemplated on getting a tattoo of, someday. It's just amazing to me. The line that they were holding, there's tens of thousands of Persians at the gates, and they're looking like they're going to be overrun, and just by fear numbers, they're outnumbered 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. It's insane how much they're outnumbered. And they give the Spartans one last time, hey, Spartans, lay down your weapons, and Persians, come and get them. Mulan Labe, come and take them from me. If you want them so bad, come and take them from me. And he doesn't let them take them. You can take them from my cold dead hands. I'm not giving them up. He's man, he's so inspirational, but and he's so powerful, and he's such a great leader. But and he, a great warrior as well. But there's also that love element, like I said, to him that makes him just an overall an amazing leader and somebody you want to follow. In King Leonidas, he's just fantastic, man.
And he's really smart too in a lot of ways. Like, one is he gets around the politics by saying, "Oh, we're not going to war. These are my bodyguards." So we talked about that. But also, he knows quality over quantity. It's like when you ran into those other, I forget those names, but the other guys who wanted to join the fight, and it's like, oh, it's more than what you have, but one was a baker, one was like all these different professions, whereas Leonidas was like, no, these are warriors right here. These are actual warriors, and that's what and he knows that that's what matters. It's not the quantity that matters. It's the quality that matters. And he still used those other people. He was very smart and found uses for them. And that's it's kind of the thing with Ephialtes, is that King Leonidas has the best idea, and Dilios too. He uses people's talents to the best of their abilities. Is that he knows what works and what doesn't. Even if you can't fight war with us, there's still something else you can do for them. And everyone but Ephialtes accepted it because they trusted Leonidas's leadership, and he cares about his people. I mean, the whole reason they were going to war, or he was going on a walk with 300 bodyguards, or 200. Is it 300 or 299? Does he count as one of the 300?
He absolutely counts as one of the 300. I think 300 was a rough number. In his actual factual historical records and such like that, it was around 300 men. Because if you think about it, there's also the others, and that's a great mention as well there too. King Leonidas, Mulan Labe, come and get these Christmas lights, Patan.
And even in the ending, though, in the very ending, what I like about this ending overall is that it's not just a typical story where the good guys win. The good guys win, the bad guy loses. But really, in a way, neither really won or lost. Like, yeah, in theory, Xerxes won, but did he, though? Did he actually win? Because he won as his ego was damaged. I mean, that's, in a way, that's worse than death for him. It's funny. At first, I was wondering, why didn't Leonidas kill Xerxes? He could have shot the aim. He could have easily aimed right through his eye, but he didn't do it because he wanted Xerxes to feel that humiliation. It's kind of the same thing with Ephialtes. If he died, he would have gotten that sweet release of death. But no, he has to live with it. He has to live with what happened. And because, again, just because you kill Xerxes doesn't necessarily mean that the whole thing's going to crumble. I'm sure that there's people, loyalists, who will fight for him even after he dies. So he wouldn't have necessarily done a service. They have to kill the entire army, not just the general, but the entire army. Because killing him wasn't practical. So that's why Leonidas gave him that dent of his ego, that blow to him. And it ends with hope at the end. Even though he dies, it shows why Dilios' role was important, because it's not 300. It was like, I forgot, it was like 1,000 more. It was way more than, like, at least 100,000. It was like a whole mountain of people.
Well, so Darth Plato's right. The thespians were there too. But they didn't bring soldiers, right? What is your profession? I'm a potter. My friend, we clearly brought more soldiers. How I take it back then is the Spartans did win. The Spartans won that battle. 100% they won that battle. I guess I'll address the bleeding of King Xerxes and throwing that spear It was a cool moment because obviously, um, King Xerxes thought that King Leonidas, oh man, I finally won. He's going to bow. He's getting on his knees and everything like that. In reality, he had no clue what was actually coming for him. Taking off his gear because it's heavy to get a better throw at him. Ultimately, I think if King Leonidas could have killed King Xerxes there, he absolutely would have. I think it talks about how far that throw was. So, in reality, it was a long shot, but for him to be so still as accurate as he was to still cut him and make him bleed. He showed him that, you say you're a god, you're telling all these people here that you're a god, but you bleed. And a free man cut you and made you bleed. So
I have to say this, Corey, real quick.
Yep.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will. I'm sorry, I had to.
Why did you say that name? But yeah. So obviously he wins that battle. King Leonidas wins that battle. Then, as a whole, obviously they knew that they were surrounded, that they weren't going to make it through. He tells his Spartans, prepare for glory. What's glory to the Spartans? The warrior's death. That they were all getting ready to clean themselves one last time and prepare for them to make way to their gods. And ultimately, they paid the ultimate sacrifice and they were all killed and everything like that. So they won in that sense as well now too, because that's the way they want to die. They want to die a warrior's death. So another win for the Spartans. And then you have Dilios, who goes off and tells the story of these free men fighting against this tyrannical, evil god, false god, and that they can be beat. But the way to beat them is if we unite all of Greece to defeat these crazy Persians. And that's ultimately what happened. So they rised up all of Greece to push out the Persians and win the war. So ultimately, it's a win for the Spartans. It's a win for Greece and everything along those lines. So, while it's not your, typical like all the hero survives type story, they're Spartans. They went the way they wanted to go, and they paid the ultimate sacrifice, and they died free men, and that's why it will always be a win, no matter what. Die as a free man versus dying as an enslaved man. Don't
living as an enslaved man.
What?
Dying a free man versus living as an enslaved man.
Yeah. Don't live as a free man, die as a free man. That's the moral of the story. That's the win in this movie, that they never gave up their convictions. They never failed each other. They never failed their loved ones. They fought to the very end. The second movie wasn't as great. I completely agree, but it's still worth a watch so he can see like King Xerxes kind of backstory there, as well as some of the other themes. I don't watch it. I've seen that one probably a little over 10 or so times. I not nowhere near the amount of times I've seen the original 300. The fact that they were killing the immortals and everything like that. They were destroying them as well. It just shows to them that they were, while they didn't have maybe all the technology that the Persians had, they had the warrior mentality, and they fought to the lasting minute that they possibly could. So that's what it's about: dying as a free man versus going out like everybody else who follows King Xerxes. So yeah, it was a win for Sparta, buddy. It was a win for the free man. Always will be the win for the free man.
Yeah, win for every free man. Except for people who think they have the freedom to leave their Christmas lights up. That's the only free man that I don't respect.
This is Santa. Man, that roar at the end. Beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, Corey had to go right now, so
I didn't watch Geek Defense. I didn't watch it a lot, only 10 times. I guess maybe he's saying that is a lot. I guess a lot in comparison to 300. Like I watched 300 decent amount of times throughout the year. It's probably like maybe once a month, maybe once every other month. You know, like it's it's a movie that I put on. No,
it's Superman.
What's that?
It's supposed to be Superman right here.
That's awesome.
But StreamYard doesn't show it like that, though.
Exactly, integrity. Exactly.
Nope. You are not. I don't care. Like, on my way to band rehearsal, not last band rehearsal, but the one before that, I literally rolled my windows down and I yelled at a house that had their Christmas lights up, "Take your Christmas lights down!" I literally rolled my windows and yelled at them. That's how big I am about.
That's something that Xerxes would do.
Oh, it's not something that Xerxes would do. You say, okay, that's good.
No. That's something Xerxes would do. Absolutely, something Xerxes would do. He'd roll over that house, like, take down your Christmas lights. I am your god. You know, like, embrace me as your god king. I'm Xerxes.
Well, you know what then?
Yeah.
You know what then, Corey? I stay with Xerxes then.
You hear that, folks? Man, you hear that, folks? Man, I'm gonna have to come to Chicago and spar and kick you down something crazy. No. See, even Red Hood. Oh, that is very Xerxes for you to do. See, man, I know it's treason. Then exactly. Freedom.
I'm just kidding. I would never side with someone so evil as Xerxes. But on that note, before we wrap this up,
hashtag back Xerxes. I like that. Read it out loud. Bat Xerxes.
Is there anything that we missed that you wanted to bring up?
Bat Christmas Karen, that's pretty good as well. Man, I tell you what, how amazing this movie is. It's a good watch. It's an amazing movie. It's just so good. It's one of those movies that it stands the test of time. It's such an impactful movie. I don't know if we mentioned Eli Snyder is in it. He plays King Leonidas being taken away from his home. That's something to mention. Man.
What happened here with my background? It's a green screen.
Oh.
Okay.
Weird. No, it's just a fantastic movie. There's a lot of action packed to it. A lot of just portions of the movie that is always memorable. Just resonates, with, free men, free women. And I think it's something that really both men, like we saw, there's plenty of women in here tonight. Oracle's Clock Tower, and her love for how awesome the Queen is. I couldn't agree more. The King and the Queen, they were both fantastic characters in this movie. It's Zack Snyder's visuals were fantastic. Zack Snyder's writing was fantastic. It just overall absolutely amazing movie by Zack Snyder. And seriously, it's seriously up there for favorite Zack Snyder movies. And I watched this one. It's probably up there with Man of Steel for his amount of watch time for sure. There, that and Man of Steel are the ones that I watch so much of. And ZSJO I watch a lot, but that there's some hours to it. So
fair enough.
So I could get more screenings of 300 and Man of Steel in a day than ZSJO, but not knocking ZSJO at all, because that's an absolutely amazing movie. 300 is the movie that really caught my eyes to Zack Snyder. It's an amazing movie. It means a lot to me. Just a beautiful movie. And exactly, gently apply pressure to the like button, subscribe button for Bat Dan, and support these SOBs. Yeah, it's we covered it all, Bat Dan. I can't think of anything else that we missed.
Neither can I. I think we got everything. So we're gonna move on to wrap up. Just, I guess, final thoughts, and what would you rate the movie overall?
This is tough. It flows incredibly well. It's powerful. Lots of great lines, lots of great quotes. Damn, Josh. Damn. I love that score. I love that score so much. Damn. So you know how hard I am on like rating movies and everything like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything that
You
is
didn't like?
is a no-go for me in there. Ultimately what it stands for: freedom, being a free man, dying as a free man, living a life of courage and love. Man, this may get it. Yeah, I think I know I don't typically do these scores like this, but I'm going to give it a 10. It's a perfect movie in my opinion. The lighting, the story, the fight scenes, the comic book vibes, the everything about it. It's a perfect movie in my opinion. The brotherly love, the community love. It's just such an amazing movie. Like I can't think of a portion that I dislike of it. It's a fantastic movie. Moulin Labe, if you don't like my score, it's a 10, buddy. It's a 10.
It's funny. You actually, our last review together, you gave it a 10 too. Man of Steel. And you know what, Corey? I'm going to agree with you on this one too. Is that I give this a 10 too. I can't think of a single thing wrong with this movie. I think it's because, and again, I don't like people just throw out the word perfect film because, like, no, very few films are perfect films, but this is one of them. It's just an amazing film. I just don't have a criticism for it. I see why this film made Zack Snyder so famous, and I'm definitely going to rewatch it a lot more because it really is an amazing movie. And
yeah, you need to bump those numbers off of too, big fellow.
Yeah, I know. I
appreciate your honesty though. There, that takes some courage, and don't feel bad for only seeing it that many times. Like it's a movie that definitely requires, it gives off a vibe and everything like that. And a lot of great scores in here. 9.8 from Oracle's Clock Tower. I absolutely, it tends from a lot of people as well. It's just such a great movie. I love everything about it. There's uh it's a great movie, man. I'm not afraid to call it perfection because, in my opinion, it is. In my opinion, it is. Just
And
like Man of Steel. Yeah, Man of Steel was great as well.
I really can't argue with those. Like those two films, I think I see why Zack Snyder is so famous. They're both really great movies, and Zack's was really
Hell yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I do have actually, real quick, I do want to make an announcement before people leave is that Rebel Moon Part 2 is coming out real soon. So this will be the first of a series I'm going to do on my channel where I'm going to review Zack Snyder's other movies. I'm going to bring on different guests for different movies. And so Corey and I already did Man of Steel, so that one we won't do. I won't do this one on this channel since we already did it. And Josh and I already did Rebel Moon Part 1, so same thing. But the other movies, Army of the Dead, we'll do Army of Thieves, even though Zach didn't direct it. Sucker Punch, Watchmen, all those movies I'm gonna review on this channel with different people. So check it out in the chat. I just wanted to get that in real quick because I know Sky's starting soon, so I just wanted to get that announcement in real quick. So I'm really excited to check it out. And Corey, I hope you and Trey will join me for the Batman v Superman review.
Yeah, man, that'd be fun, I think. Yeah. I have a tendency to think of Batman as hero support, so we enjoy that Batman v Superman conversation for sure.
Yeah, so wait, hold on, Costello's way. Are you okay? You're mounted. Good. Okay, so great, and I'm looking forward to it. Lots of great stuff coming up, and I guess to wrap this up, Corey, what's going on the Bat channel? You guys have anything big you want to talk about?
Yeah, we have a lot of great things coming our way for sure on the Bat channel, so you can I guess hear me talk. Yeah, he never lets me slide with the Batman slams. I'm a Superman guy, obviously, but no, I do respect Batman as well. We have a lot of neat things coming up for the Bat channel. We have really been loving all the Godzilla content lately. So we've been talking about Godzilla quite a bit. We've talked about Rebel Moon. We talk DC. We talk about Star Wars. We've had some awesome debates about Star Wars. We've have oh gosh, Bad Batch coming up not too far away. Trey and I are also making some big changes to the Bat channel. So if you going to be releasing some information there. So if you want to join the battalion, make sure you find us on YouTube here, the Bat channel. You see them in the comment space right now. Make sure you go over there, like, share, and subscribe. Over there, we're absolutely going to be doing Halo 2 again. Oracle's Clock Tower. Super excited for that. I know Trey's been busy with things, but I've even thought about doing like that Masters of Air stuff on the side, kind of maybe my own discussion, because I'm super into the Top Gun side of things, and that looks pretty awesome as well. Man, we just have such an awesome community over there. The battalion has been fantastic. Everybody who's here tonight, who I've seen over at our channel as well, I can't thank you guys enough for following, just the amazing community that we have. And that's one of the great things too, Batman, is you also have an amazing community here with your Batman's Thoughts. And I'm so happy that you've made it to 300. I remember when Trey and I made it to 300, and it's funny, we had some Spartan memes and things going out during that time as well. So I love seeing this on your channel as well. Now talking about with you has been fantastic. Batman, I'm just so happy for you for hitting that 300 number, and I look forward to your continued growth, because you do have awesome conversations and awesome thoughts and discussions. And I'm just happy that you allow a fellow troll to troll you just as hard as you troll us over on our channel.
Yep. And that's fair. You know, I do troll those guys on the Bat channel quite a bit. And thank you thank you so much, Corey. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining me on this channel. And guys, I have the link to the Bat channel in the description of this video, so check it out. And coming up for me on my channel is I'm gonna try to get a review of Beekeeper, and I may need to see it again just to get it fresh in my mind again, because I want to review that movie, because David Ayer, I think, took my advice. I think David Ayer watched my video, because right after I posted that video, he happened to retweet an article, and I said silently support Cell. So, and he did quote tweet me earlier. So, I mean, he knows I exist. So, anyway, I'm gonna try to get that Beekeeper review in, and I have an interview with APAS coming up, February 9th.
Nice.
Because I mentioned Mikey Sutton earlier, and Mikey Sutton really believed in my interviewing skills, and I want to do more interviews to really honor him, to really develop my skills more and honor Mikey Sutton. So, actually, Super Bowl Corey in the Bat channel, sometime after you make that one stream where you announce your changes, sometime after that, I want to get you guys on for a two-parter interview. One part I interview you, the other part I interview the other person, and then whoever I interview for part one will come on at the end of part two, is the plan. So
that's cool.
Well, when you do that stream eventually, we'll talk. And other than that, guys, just lots of great stuff coming up on my channel. You know, as I said, we'll do some Zack Snyder interviews. And guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more unique takes and interesting thoughts. And thank you all for your continued support and for helping me get to 300 subscribers.
Subscribe to Bat Dan.
Thank you, Corey. Subscribe to Bat Dan.
Subscribe
to the Bat channel. And on that note, have a bat-tastic day. This is Sparta.
This is Santa. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a